All right, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the ladies, on the phone with me now, Jesse, the Devil, Fabulous Weapon, Boots Electric, Kill Switch, Everett Hughes of the Eagles of Death Metal.
Wow, dude, that was awesome. You just nailed them all. I love you for that.
Thanks for being with me today.
Thank you, honey. This is great, man. I just walked off the stage here in Kansas City and onto the phone with a sweetheart. I love it.
How was the gig?
You know what? I'll tell you what. We played a weird gig in San Diego the other day, and while we were going and on the way there, this was 2 days ago, an F-18A fighter plane went down in the mountain area
hit the house,
on a routine training mission while we were driving, and all cell phone service shut down for 20 miles. I've never seen anything like it. So that was a weird gig, to say the least.
Well, you were doing the Hard On tour. Did you have any other weird gigs or any weird experiences?
I fell off the stage in Seattle. That was fun. It was we decided to turn the Eagles of Death Metal into the Eagles of Death Metal featuring Jerry Lewis, and it was kind of it was an interesting scenario, falling off the stage and into a rack of guitars. But you know what? The ladies had an opportunity to tend to my wounds, and it made for a wonderful evening.
Well, how did this tour go in comparison to the other tours?
Well, you know what, man? When we were releasing an album like Hard On for us, it's a little bit scary because it's the first album, where we really tried hard, if that makes any sense. In the first two records, I didn't have any skills or really anything. I just had raw power, so to speak. I mean, it was like I had been a werewolf my whole life, but only had just seen my first full moon, And this album, I'm not totally crappy anymore, and Joshua wanted to really step up the production value. So when you try to do something on purpose, sometimes it gets a little scary because you don't want anyone to not like you,
Right. Well, I noticed that with this record, that the music and the lyrics really was diversified as opposed to Peace, Love, and Death Metal and Death by Sexy. What was the writing and recording process? Was that different?
It was radically different, man. We recorded the first two records. It combined total 2 weeks to record and mix both of those records, This album took a year and a half. It wasn't for a lack of a total, wonderful, living the dream rock fantasy, I mean, come on. We got to go on the road and record a record on the road. We went to the heartland of America recording an album. That's the luckiest thing in the world to do, and we just didn't want to disrespect that or take it for granted, So recording in Fargo, North Dakota, Joshua, we were on tour with Queens. I went on tour with the Queens so Joshua and I could record the album, and Queens had to do a sound check, and I wrote Now I'm a Fool, boom. And when Josh came back, he's like, that's what we need. That's the kind of stuff that will be sort of a mechanism to demonstrate some maturity or something. And that was the last thing I wanted, was to have a song like that on the record, Being able to travel all over and take time allowed for opportunities to rise to the occasion. Of course we would like to presume we did, but I guess that's up to everyone out there in Radio Land.
Well, that's what I particularly noticed about the album was how songs like Now I'm a Fool generally wouldn't go with the whole Eagles mystique. And I think you really, went off on something different.
Well, man, you just hit the biggest worry right on the head. Is it going to fit in with the Eagle vibe? Because to me, Eagles of Death Metal is about, for lack of a cornier term, a celebration of the joy of just doing stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't know if suddenly whacking people over the head with Now How Sad I Am was going to fit in. I mean, I might as well start telling people who to vote for. Come on.
Right. But it's a groovy track. What are one of your favorite songs off of the album?
Well, Hard On and I'm Your Torpedo. I'm Your Torpedo is really my favorite song on the record because to me it sums up completely what I envision the Eagles as, and that's the two best friends having the best time of their lives, Joshua and I together, and that song's a duet,
Yeah.
And it's kind of our theme. And I get to say the tongue of the monkey is going to lick your brain. Come on.
All right, well, the last album you had Liam Lynch, who produced what should have been Academy Award-winning DVD by Sexy. A couple of Heart On videos came out on YouTube. Is there going to be a DVD for this album?
Absolutely. Liam is he's an Eagle of Death Metal. And his Eagle of Death Metal name is Honey Pants, because everything you put on with him is like wearing honey pants, I don't even know what that would feel like. I just know it would be awesome. And, of course, we love this stuff, man. I mean, imagine having a job where you got to do this and not wanting to love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Liam understands it. That's why he does it. We've always kind of envisioned the Eagles of Death Metal as a super group. We just had to spend the last 2 records for me to try to become super, you know? And Liam is he's like a super god of the cinema world. The fact that he even wants to have anything to do with this is a great honor. But only he could do it. You know what I mean? The music would only allow him to do it, and so he obeys.
Let's go back to the period of time between Desert Sessions 3 and 4 and Peace, Love, and Death Metal. Where was the point where either you and Josh got together and say, well, let's just make this like a real band and like really do this?
You know what? We never did this. This is the truth of this band. This is what I call the Twilight Zone element of this band. We had just come up with the name when we did Desert Sessions 3 and 4. The name really came up with itself. There's just no two ways about it. And we just recorded that Desert Sessions as a joke. I mean, our friend Cole Liu sings death metal vocals. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, cheesy. So I got married 2 weeks later. I got married. And I was already an intern at a newspaper, and I had no desire whatsoever to be in a rock band. So I didn't want to be. And Joshua really didn't ever come to me and say, let's do this. He showed up at my house because he was worried about me. I was going through a divorce, and I had written, I Only Want You as a joke. And he heard it, and he drove me to Hollywood in my mother's car, and here I am talking to you.
That is the rock and roll fantasy.
It is literally, man, I'm telling you, like, I do interviews. I love this job, and I never get tired of it. I never get bummed. I never get bothered by it. And people sometimes, I think, can't believe that it's possible that I'm this enthusiastic, but I really came into this in rock and roll fantasy land, for real. And I can't get over that fact. It was like I bought a lottery ticket from the gods, and it scratched off and said, yes, everything, rock and roll, now.
Reading about and seeing what has happened over the past couple of years with you is just, it should give people hope in life that anything is possible. And it's really the American dream.
I was 30 when I started in this, man. You know, that in this Logan's Run day and age, that's like over the hill, you know? Yeah. Nothing is impossible. This is America, baby, and America's a beautiful place. And I'm one of those cornballs that believes in it so much that he's actually living it. You know what I mean?
So, you've been playing a lot of, kind of different guitars than you've been used to. You've been busting out the Yamaha AES.
I love that guitar. Mike Tempesta from Yamaha gave me that guitar, and nothing ever compares to my Maidens. That is just a fact. But this guitar comes the damn closest.
I saw it. I was at the Westchester gig. Actually, all the guitars, even Dave's guitars, were like really sweet.
He plays this metal guitar now that's pretty fucking amazing, man. Or effing amazing. Ooh.
The new Masters of Reality album, which has been delayed forever. Have you heard it, and is it worth the wait?
The new Masters of Reality is unbelievably amazing. Yes, of course I've heard it. I've snuck in on those sessions, honey. It's amazing. What
are some of your guilty pleasures musically?
My musical guilty pleasures? Oh, honey, I have many. Britney Spears, but I don't consider that a guilty pleasure. I consider that an honor.
What's your favorite
Brit standards like ABBA and the Bee Gees. I kind of obsessed on the Bee Gees, but I listen to Bjork. I love a band called The Church from the 80s. I love that band. I listen to Boz Scaggs. I love Brick. I mean, Captain and Tennille I love the Cars, Carter Family. I mean, ZZ Top, The Cult. I have so many guilty pleasures. I listen to porno soundtrack music, too. I love that stuff. I mean, anything that dances, anything that moves, or rather, I think anything that seems really sincere in its effort is kind of beautiful to me. Like Christina Aguilera really means it. I love her for it.
And I know you have like a huge collection of music. You just listen to like everything.
I've been very fortunate. I've been blessed really my whole life, and what I was blessed with first was unbelievable parents. And my mother has gotten me into every form of music from the time I was born. I was immersed in music. My father was a rock and roller. He was a founding member of the early incarnation of the Marshall Tucker Band. Like he was a hipster and a teacher, and leaving their kids home and trying to do the typical rock and roll thing, which is to split your life in half. I was there with them, and my mother was a Motown and a Parliament freak. So imagine, a white Southern girl who loves to listen to P-Funk dancing with her kid on her feet all the time. Like, that was awesome. I had a great upbringing.
All right. 2009, Eagles of Death Metal. What are we going to expect? What are we going to see?
We're going to put our heart on the entire world. We could turn the world into a heart-shaped planet. We actually have a plan to reduce dependence upon foreign oil. It's going to be a good one. And, stuff like that. No, actually, all we intend to do is rock as hard as we can and keep pushing. I want to be bigger than Madonna.
Well, that's probably the best thing to strive for.
It's all you can strive for, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Hughes, Eagles of Death Metal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.